Hello and welcome to a bit of bully, and a very special bit of bully it is. We know it's late. We told you it would be late. It's a review of what was a wonderful World Matchplay. So, Darren and I are here. This is the final time for this season. Are you ready, Darren, to give them the best podcast we've ever done?
I am, yeah. I'm excited for this one.
It's been an exciting week, hasn't it? Let's be fair. Now, before we
It
move on, before we do anything at all, one thing we've been mentioning throughout this was two things. One is West on Iron. We'll come up to him in a minute. But the other thing that's been quite common in this is young Freddy Argyle, who has won. Well, he did the 180 challenge, 180, 180s in a minute, which was magnificent. And he's been playing well against adults, which is magnificent. But there is news, isn't there? Big news. Darren, do you want to lay it out here?
There is, yeah. So Freddie, obviously he's done the things he's done has been absolutely brilliant, and the work he's done with the coaches and stuff over the recent last 6 to 12 months. Obviously we know we've been progressing and showing everything and speaking about everything on here. But he's officially been signed by Mission Darts, so he's part of the now Mission team.
Wow, that's a good thing for him for the future, isn't it? It's a when you think of people like Luke Little who would target, and these people pick up the young stars, almost knowing what's going to come next.
That's it. I mean, he's done so well in the JDC. He's given that a bash, and he's doing brilliant in it. And his name's been all over the place for little Freddie. And to be fair, joining Team Mission, it was it was one of them choices that he had to make. And to be fair, Team Mission's a really, really good choice. I mean, they've got Nyman. They've got a lot of young, talented players across not just the UK, but across Europe as well. That are coming through the ranks. Like you say, Nyman's flying. To have someone like that to look up to speak to have like a mentor and conversation with, it's brilliant for him.
It is. Well, so well done, Freddie. That's our first order of this final episode of the season. Just to let people know, we will be back in time for the World Championships, maybe sooner, but we will wait and see. But we've decided to have a little break. But we're going to finish on a high. The World Matchplay. It started off pretty much as it meant to go on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, Wessel Nyman. He started off, and in his first game, he won relatively easily, I would say. He played Dave Chisnell, and he beat Dave Chisnell 10-5. So relatively easy win. Not easy, but you understand what I mean. And his stats in that, he was averaging, we just see, he was averaging 98.63, so just short of 100. But the difference there, I mean, he had 52% on the doubles, and that's tremendous, tremendously well. But in the next round, he faced what would be a battle of the giants, literally a battle of the Dutch giants. Van Veen, who we know about from the last couple of seasons, who's really come on well, and of course Wessel Nyman, who was the second favourite for this tournament, given what he had achieved. Now, that match, Wessel Nyman and Van Veen, a couple of things. Nyman's average was slightly higher, only by a point, 96 to 97, and he threw 8 180s, Western Lyman, compared to 4 from Van Veen. I think, but the 140 pluses was only one difference there between Van Veen got 20 and Nyman got 19. There were some good checkouts, should I say, and both of them exactly 50% on the doubles. And that is why, Darren, that is why it finished 14-12. And it was the only match that needed to go to 14. Well, sorry, tell a lie. Van Duivenbode against Van Gerwen also went 14-12. But 14-12, to explain, that's a tie break, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Nyman and Van Veen, it really is a lottery. Do you think it's a bit of a lottery?
Yeah, so you got to win by 2 clear legs, haven't you?
You have,
when you go to the tiebreaker, and then if you go to, depending on how many legs there is, like 13 all or whatever, then it's a 1 leg shootout then, isn't it? But watching that game, it was just incredible. It was Nyman would break him, and it looked like Nyman were going to get the win, and then Van Veen would take out a big finish and keep himself in it, and then it was just constant. It was taking the leg off each other, and it was like, they're not going to get it. And I mean, I'm not one for like praying someone misses a double, but yeah, I really I think it was a 1-2-4, something like that, or 1-4-2 it might have been. It was I just remember Van Veen, he was out the game. Nyman was literally on a finish. I think he was on a 2-dart finish. And yeah, he took up that big finish, the 100-something finish. And next thing, he won the next 2 legs and won the match, didn't he?
He did.
If he'd lost, like you say, if he'd lost that, he'd lost the game. So yeah, it was an incredible game to watch.
Absolutely, it was, and the route, therefore, would have been James Wade and then Gerwin Price. So if Nyman had managed to get through that one, I could see him beating James Wade. I really could. I think Gerwin Price would be a different matter. That one could be a lot closer and a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Not saying that Wade isn't good. He really is. He's excellent. I mean, he pushed Van Veen 16-13 in that quarterfinal. So he's a cracking player, is Wade, and he has these moments, and he seems to have them at the Winter Gardens. He plays well there.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about the route. Nyman could have got to the final, and we could have had a final between the two. What I think are the 2 best players in the world right now.
Currently, yeah.
Based on current form. Nyman's now up to a world ranking of 13.
It's not a number I'd want to be hanging around on.
Not really, no. You're right. But you and I thought he would break the top 10 by the time the World Championships comes around. I'm pretty confident, unless he just goes off the boil completely. I'm pretty confident that will be the case. And being in the top 10 is going to help him avoid some of the more tricky early round games. Yeah. Maybe. So watch out for him in that final, because in the World Championships, because you know what, this season we've talked about him on almost every episode, and it's not because we are super Nyman fans. It isn't because of that. It's just because he's winning everything on the floor.
Yeah.
And if we're doing a podcast about darts, what can we do? We have to talk about him. I must admit, I've become a little bit of a super fan of him over the time. But it's just by watching him and
Yeah,
seeing, you know,
yeah, that's it. You can't help it, can you? I mean, there's something about him. You can see how kind and nice he is. You can see there's an aura to him that just attracts you to watch his games. And yeah, he's such a gentleman behind the scenes as well. And yeah, I
yeah,
mean, he's only a young lad, but yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I'm becoming a bit of a fan.
it's just happened, hasn't it?
Yeah,
So let's have a look at some of the other results early on. First and foremost, one thing I do want to mention is Cameron Menzies, who had
yeah,
one hell of a first round game, knocking out Luke Humphreys. Very unexpected. But having said that, we talked about Cameron in the last episode, I believe, because he had just hit form, hadn't he? And won some. I can't remember what it was. He won, but he won tournament. So the week before, if you like.
yeah, he did. Yeah,
So he came into this in great form, and he surprised some people, but he beat Humphreys. However, in the next game against Smith, he had to retire when he was 2-1 up because he wasn't well. He was taken ill, and we don't like to see anybody going out in that way.
no,
And even Ross Smith said, it's not the ideal way to go through to the next round. It's not what
no,
you want.
no. I mean,
So
I was lucky enough. For people obviously that don't know, I was lucky enough to go to the Winter Gardens the next day. And I spent the afternoon with a PDC official, one of the high up guys there in the PDC, and I was lucky enough to go on the stage and hold the medal, hold the trophy, lift the trophy up for photos and stuff as well. So I was very, very lucky to be there.
yeah,
But we had a bit of a conversation about Humphreys and stuff, and saying how is he and what have you. And he said that he's well, but it was just advised by the doctors and stuff behind the scenes. He was really well looked after. The security team, as advised by the hotel, by the first aiders and the hospital staff, to go to the hotel and rest up, and then go back home basically and get a GP appointment, just to check everything's okay with him. But I know he's put something out on socials to say that that he's okay.
he is okay. Yes, and Cameron, he is well, which is great news.
Yeah,
But he was starting to go on fire. But you could see when he walked off the stage, he was unsteady. You can't have someone playing darts when they're unsteady. It's just a no go, isn't it? I mean, the referees have got to watch out. It's
yeah, that's it.
darts
That's it. I mean, it's tough. We said before, haven't we? When you get on that stage, the cameras, the lights, the heat up there, it's incredible. So you can only imagine, if he's not feeling 100% himself,
yeah,
he might have had a bit of a restless night. You don't know the full stories behind it. Nerves getting the best of you. You have a bit of a restless night. You don't have a great sleep. Straight away, your energy's low anyway, isn't it? And then if you're going to go on the stage and in that grueling heat as well,
yeah,
it's tough. But I'm just glad to hear that he's well.
yeah. I am too. So Cameron Menzies will be back on playing soon and back
Yeah.
on form. Because you got to take great confidence from that victory over Luke Humphreys. It wasn't just luck. It was
No, he was so
as
cool
well.
and composed, wasn't he, the whole game? He was, yeah, it was a different Menzies in that game, and yeah, he thrived. He looked brilliant.
It was the Menzies that we talked about in
Yeah,
winning the tournaments.
yeah,
Somebody that started to sneak through. He beat Christovi 13-11. So in a bit of a that's the first round. So that's a tie break. Um, and then a tiebreak against Van Gerwen. We're talking here about Van Dyvenbode.
Yeah.
And then a tiebreak. No, he was lucky to escape a tiebreak, 16-13.
Yeah.
So he was, but that was a very close game. And then he met Luke Littler in the semi-finals. And, one of the things I want to talk about is the players' reactions when playing Luke Littler. When Luke Littler got on that stage in the first round, and in the second round, and he got on that stage against Nathan Aspinall, and he threw a 9-darter with his first leg. That is frightening, surely, to any player when Luke Littler is playing above his fault. We talk about people potentially having a chance to beat him if he has an off day.
Yeah.
But Luke Littler was having better days at this tournament. He was an improvement on the Luke Littler that we've known for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, his averages over the tournament. Have you got them there? I have got them somewhere.
Yeah. So he started off with a 109.53. Then he went to a 113.68. Then he went 109.57. Then he had 110.88. And then he finished off the tournament with 111.53. Absolutely incredible.
Which is five, and in darts, this is a lot. This is per 3 darts, which is 5 more than Phil Taylor could manage in his best year. He had a 106 average. And when you look at the table of averages, they're very close. In fact, they're all between second and sixth. You 106.31 to 105.12. It's very close. And then you got this stupid jump to what Luke Littler did in this tournament. I mean, where does it end? Where does it end?
It's just insane, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
we've said it before, haven't we? That look, if they're hitting their double straight away, which most pros now want to be, they want to be 48 to 50% don't they, on their double? They don't want to be missing many darts at it. And I think Littler was around 50 to 60% the whole competition. And that's why his averages are so high. He hasn't missed, literally.
Yeah.
Which, just shows like how incredible he was playing. I mean, I've got his stats that he finished on 100, if not 100, he finished on 66 180s for the whole competition as well across 5 rounds.
Which is a record.
Yeah.
Again, but it was his record, but it's a record.
Yeah, but it's incredible.
Was this World Matchplay, Luke Littler, was it the most impressive tournament of darts there has ever been for one darts player?
I think so, yeah. I think so, because it wasn't just Littler, was it? We're talking about Littler's performance. Obviously, his performance is absolutely unbelievable. Like, you can't not talk about his performance throughout the whole tournament. But it wasn't just him. Aspinall, when he played Aspinall was phenomenal. The 170 finish, he never looked like he wasn't going to get it.
No.
And it was like, wow, this is insane. And then you thought that was going to be the game of the tournament. And then you have the Van Veen and Nyman game, and it's like, oh my God, that's the game of the tournament. And then you get treated with that final, the scoreline. Okay, it looks like Littler's absolutely had a walk in the park. But when you look at all the stats, when you look at what both of them players produced, Price's average didn't go below 104 from what I've seen.
104.97 on average.
Yeah. And I don't think it went below that. Sometimes they have a dip, don't they? And then it goes back up and then a dip again. But I think he was around that average the whole night.
if he was playing anybody on the circuit, and he had these stats: average 104.97, 10 180s, 20 over 140. All right, his checkouts weren't brilliant, 39.1.
Yeah.
But if you look at that and plonk that next to anybody else,
yeah,
he's holding that trophy, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the checkout percentage, we can chat about that if you want, but 39%, 39% for me. The only reason his percentage is lower is the pressure he's under.
I totally agree.
Simple as that. If Price wasn't under the pressure Littler was putting him under, his percentage would have been high and he would have been hitting his double. We know that with Price. It's not like Price to have no 100 plus checkouts in a match.
No, absolutely.
You know, that tells a story, doesn't it?
It does, because I noticed on a few of the legs where Gavin Price was on a finish, and then Luke was maybe on 280, 300 and something, and he bungs a 180 in. And it's like, there you go. I'm going to finish if you don't. And it's kind of, he doesn't say that, but the way the darts go, it is literally Luke Little turn around to him saying, if you don't hit it now, I'm hitting what I've just set up.
Yeah.
That is the pressure you talk about, I think.
Is that 100%? Yeah, that's it. Price missed, and like you say, I mean, it talks volumes again. Littler had 6 100 plus checkouts, including a 167 when Price had just set it up ready to finish off. Yeah. You know, it was that was a telling story. I mean, Price, you could see it with Price. If he wasn't on a finish or on a double waiting to check out, and Littler was on 200 odd, he was looking as if Littler's going to get this.
Yeah.
You could see it on his face behind him. He's twinkling his darts, looking down, and you could see him smirking. It was like, he's got it again here.
Yeah.
You know, so it was mad, absolutely mad.
Is it something to be proud of to go to a final, play against somebody like that, you know, get really beaten, but knowing that if you'd played anybody else, you would have won? Surely you've got to be proud of that. Gavin Price has got to go home to his chippy and his sheep or whatever he's doing. He's got to go home and he's got to put a smile on his face and think, you know what? I came up against something different. James Wade calls himself the Machine. He needs to swap his nickname with Luke, because Luke Littler is a machine. It's ridiculous what he was throwing throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah.
You know, his averages, you go back, I haven't got them here, but I know that if you go back to last year, the semi-final and the final, and you went on, that there's a length of games there, I think 7 or 8 games, where his average is up in the 111s or 114s. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And you know, every single podcast host, every single TV host, they all praise Littler, and they praise him a lot, and he deserves it.
Yeah,
he really deserves it. But let's look at some of the other people that didn't quite make the cut. Van Veen, how do you think his tournament went? Well, number 3, is he, or 2? 2, I think.
Yeah, is he 2 now? He took over Humphreys.
I think he might be. Humphreys.
Yeah, he possibly is, I think. Yeah, I think you might be right. I thought he had a good tournament. He didn't hit the highs we know he can hit. But I wouldn't say he had a bad run and a bad tournament.
And he got to semi-finals.
Yeah,
Something to be proud of.
yeah,
Or is
yeah.
he
I
just
mean, he come up against Price, like, Price seemed to be a different animal in this tournament, and he looked like he wanted it. The hunger was there, and like I said, Price was celebrating. I think he needed that win against Van Veen to take the #1 Welsh spot back.
he did, yeah. And you
So
enjoyed that.
yeah,
Obviously,
that made it. They made it for him, didn't it? That game, like Price wanted that more than Van Veen.
yes, I think so. I think you're right. Um, Talking of Gerwyn Price, at the beginning of the tournament, he was slated a little bit by the media for not really being that interested.
Mhm.
Talking about he would rather be back dealing with herding sheep or whatever he was talking about, but he didn't seem that interested. But then when he knew when he first started throwing and he realised that, oh, you know what, I'm actually in a bit of a form here. If I can carry this through, I can do something.
Yeah,
I think his mind was changed during that first game.
yeah. I mean, he said, didn't he? He had his partner up with him, and he said that for him, it wasn't just about darts. Blackpool, he really enjoyed his time because he was able to go away, and that day break in between where he was having a chance to spend with his family. They were doing a lot of stuff around Blackpool, completely switching off from darts. And he said it's probably one of the tournaments that he's enjoyed the most, recently, because he got to do that.
Yeah,
There is a lot of tournaments that the pros do talk about that they don't get much time. They don't get much time off. They don't, between they're playing the next day, and it's one of them tournaments that has shown with that day break that what we've seen. Look at the performances from the players.
yeah,
It's incredible.
yeah. Do, do we think the World Matchplay is the second best tournament in the world?
Yeah, I think
Apart
so.
from, I mean, Premier League is a different animal. It's not just one tournament, is it? It's a lot. It is one tournament, but it's a
Yeah,
bit different. But if we take normal tournaments, um, I think it's the best one in the world. I do.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. But
it,
but do you think that's because it's it's just the top 16, isn't it?
top 32, isn't it?
Is it top? Sorry, yes, top
Yeah,
32. Yes, my bad. But yeah, is that why? Is it because it's a top 32, and for the past 12 months, that top 32 is the top 32 players in the world that are in the most form?
yeah.
Is it because of that
I
that
think
we
if
feel like, that's made it a better tournament, and that's why it's the second best tournament? Because there's no messing about with, you know, qualifiers and stuff like that. It's straight in. You've got a hard fixture no matter what.
yeah, I was about to say that it's literally every game is a tough game. You know that
Yeah.
from the start. It's every game is a tough game. Let's move on from that, shall we? Before we finish, and just talk about Luke Littler's desire now to win every tournament this year. Um, but he has a problem. He has a big problem. In the Pro Tour, he hasn't taken any of the Players' Championships. Has been 24th. Um, he's not going to the one in Germany this week. However, there are 4 coming up in Leicester that he says he's going to have to do. Is I mean, it sounds weird because of the form that we've just watched, but is there a danger of Luke Littler missing out on this? Because all he needs is one
No,
bad game. You don't think he'll miss out?
No. I was looking at the list of players that are currently qualified.
Yeah.
When you look at it and see like Humphreys, they're not guaranteed qualified. So, bear that in mind. But they are high enough up there in the pounds per points scale that you would believe they're in, even if they dropped to like 32, whatever.
Yeah.
You would believe they've got enough points there to be in. And they haven't played much either. So it only takes one really good run to potentially get you in for likes of Littler.
I looked at that, and actually, there is. This is why I say there's perhaps a slight issue. The prize is, I believe, 15 or 10 or 15 grand.
Yeah.
For winning.
Yeah.
The player in the last position at the moment for qualifying is on 22,750 quid. So Luke can't just go and win one. That's not enough. He's really got to go in and win two, and maybe more to be comfortable. Two, I think 30 grand should get him in. But he's eyeing up 4 tournaments in Leicester, and he's got to win 2 of them. Is that going to happen?
I mean, it's risky leaving it this late, isn't it?
It is.
But it's backing yourself, isn't it? That and I know he wants to play there. He wants to play at Minehead, doesn't he? But,
he does. If he plays at Minehead, he doesn't win every tournament.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So he's got 4 chances. Depends who he draws. If he draws Nyman, I'm talking about first round here. In 4 games, if he does Nyman, Van Gerwen on 4, if he's on form, and Van Veen and Price on a revenge mission, if they're the 4 games he plays first, he is potentially in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Leading at this late, perhaps a lesson to him for future. Do it early, and then have your break. Get yourself in a position where you can't be caught, and then have a break, not the other way around. Because
it makes you think, doesn't it? Is it worth going in for one early, like you say, win one? Then you're right. Okay, I'm in a more of a comfortable place now. I know he's missed a lot because of the Premier League and that, and the burnout, and they didn't want to overdo it. I get that, but it is worrying that he's, it's going to be a close call, and he could miss out because it would be a different feel to a tournament if he wasn't in it.
It would. I think you'll see confidence of all the other players go up a lot if it isn't in it. But out of the 4 tournaments that he's going to play, he'll win 3 of them. I mean, let's just we're talking about it and the potential, but he'll win 3.
You would have thought so.
That's the thing. So, anything else that caught your eye in the world champion, the world match play?
No. Like, I think we've covered it all. The only thing, obviously, we haven't said is, obviously, congratulations to Littler, because obviously he's won the event, and he's the first ever person in the history of darts to win over £300 million in prize money.
I know, 3 million, not 300 million.
Sorry, 3 million. Did I say 300? Jesus, well, I wish. Yeah, £3 million in prize money. I mean, it's, it's what.
I mean, that's tremendous. There's a 2 million gap to play a ranked second.
Yeah.
He's gonna be first for years, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be worth 300 million, hasn't he, on the football transfer market?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. He is
Just covering my tracks a bit there.
He's a young Lionel Messi, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is the greatest of all time. I think this World Matchplay has changed my mind too. I was always like, Phil Taylor's going to be hard because he's won so much. He's going to be hard to catch. But I think the World Matchplay has turned my head and makes me say the world's greatest ever darts player is somebody we're watching right now. I mean, you take stock, sit back and think, and pay attention. We need to watch the darts. Everybody listening to this or watching this needs to watch the darts because it's special. He does things you don't expect anybody to do.
All I can say is keep watching because there's a lot of players coming through.
Well, there is, and if not all of them, obviously, but if a lot of them are of the standard of Luke Littler, and when you look at the way Weston Lyman is throwing, he's not that far behind. People won't know him that well yet, but they will. And then there's people like Freddy Argyle and people like and all over the
world. Well, this is it. Yeah. There's one coming through sooner than we're expecting. There's a 16-year-old that's probably going to get his tour card this January.
Okay.
And he's broke every single one of Luke Littler's records on the way.
Oh wow. We're in for the treat, aren't we? We're living in the best era of darts, I think, now.
Yeah.
Yes, it was dominated by Phil Taylor for a while. Yes, it seems to be getting dominated by Luke Littler, but like you said, there are some youngsters coming through that are throwing even better, and that's hard to imagine. Are we going to be looking at 122 averages? Is it going to be that ridiculous?
I think, especially this coming couple of years, definitely with Nyman, with Littler, with the other guys there and thereabouts anyway. They're all capable of it. But if Mitchell Lowry gets his tour card in January, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more games are 110 plus averages to win the competition.
Yeah. Could he qualify for the World Championships as it stands?
No.
Maybe next year
then.
Yeah. Right. So one thing I want to do, and I hope you don't mind me doing this. We do talk about your academy, but I wrote a song and made a song because I make music, and I wrote and made a song about Luke Littler called The Nuke, and it's a celebration of him and what he does. So I'm going to play that out at the end of this. Then that's it for a few months while me and you rest. Well, you won't rest. You set up your darts academy. We'll be back, and I suggest that we'll be back bigger and better than ever, because I think we're on a permanent place of doing it rather than on teams. So things will get better.
That's it. I mean, like you say, it's been a great first season.
Yes, it has.
And I mean, we are taking a little bit of a break, and it's partially due to the fact that myself, I'm obviously setting up my own super venue. Just obviously that little bit of a break is for me to be able to work through that and to get our bearings and where we're going to be working from and doing better podcasts and getting more involved with the public and the people, bringing you guys in, and getting you guys more on board and more involved.
Yeah, well, all I can say is thank you to the 16,000 sort of regular listeners on Spotify. Thank you to the 1,000, 1,500 viewers that we get on YouTube. YouTube is relatively new to us, but thank you to you all. We really appreciate it, because this podcast would be pointless without any of it. If we had 0 listeners, 0 viewers, won't be a point in watching it, in making it. So thanks to you for watching, listening. We will be back. We'll say goodbye, and I'm going to leave you with one of my songs. Am I allowed to do that, Darren?
Of course you can.
Okay. This is the Nuke, all about Nuke Littler. We'll see you when we come back towards the end of the year. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
They call me the Nuke when I step to the light. Teenage thunder got the whole world in sight. 3 short years and I was raising that crown. Now the tribal stars shaking when I come around. 180 storms and 100+ glide. Double 10 waiting, that's the door I walk by. Magic on the board, yeah, I make it look true. There's never been another built like the Nuke. I was gripping little flights while I still wore nappies. Tiny hands, big aim, whole future looked flashy. From the practice room floor to the loud TV stage, I was writing something wild on a very young page. First came the pressure, then I learned how to breathe. Then I turned packed arenas to a place of belief. In my first 3 seasons, I was storming the game. World champion status, now they chant my name. 2-time Premier League, put the proof in the file. Cool walk to the floor, calm face, sharp smile. Every visit dangerous, every set a headline. I don't chase the moment, I arrive right on time. Under season average, that's a different degree. When the boy starts talking, it speaks back to me. They call me the Nuke when I step to the light. Teenage thunder got the whole world in sight. 3 short years and I was raising that ground. Now the treble starts shaking when I come around. 180 storms and 100+ glide. Double 10 waking, that's the door I walk by. Magic on the board, yeah, I make it look true. There's never been another built like the Nuke. I've won near every title that the circuit can show. Still hungry like a kid with a long way to go. See the 20 bag glowing, I can turn it to flame. Stack another 180, let it rain on the frame. And if I'm left 150, don't be blinking too slow. I might aim 3 bullseyes just to put on a show. Cause I dare what they don't, I attempt what they won't. Where they play it all safe, I just lean in and throw. Double 10 is my signature, keen and precise. Like a lock clicking open every single night. There is nothing I can't do when belief is this strong. I make hard look simple, make the greats play along. Special, don't cover it, I'm beyond what they knew. Year by year, I'm still building a legend in view. I'm not just hot now, I'm a mark in time. Young with an old school nerve and a champion mind. Every crowd feels the shift when I enter the room. Like the air gets electric and makes space for the boom. This is craft, this is gift, this is ours unseen. Now the world gets a front row, look at the dream. So give that praise loud for the kid with the spark, who can paint fireworks bright on a dark boy. From nappies to glory, what a story we've seen. The Nuke keeps rising with the world-class gleam. And if talent had a target, it would point where I shoot. Dead center, all pressure, all hard. The Nuke, the Nuke, the Nuke.
I feel